Welcome to ABCs of Real Estate, your semi-monthly real estate show that goes over the A to Z terms of a real estate transaction. My name's Ryan.
And I'm Courtney.
Courtney, what letter are we going over today?
Today we are going over the letter G, which stands for Grant Deed.
Courtney, so the dictionary definition of grant deed is a legal document used to transfer the ownership of real property. But Courtney, what's the kind of breakdown of that?
So in the real estate world, a grant deed has two parties, a grantor and a grantee.
Okay.
The grantor is the person conveying an interest in real property, and the grantee is the person to whom an interest in real property is conveyed.
Okay. Courtney, do you know how they used to transfer property in the olden days?
I don't, but I bet I'm going to find out.
I love a good story. So in the olden days, back in the 1800s, they used to basically take a handful of soil and hold your hand out. And then they would place it in the hand of the person they're transferring the property to.
Okay.
And then there would be a third party witness. And then they would recite some legal jargon. And then that would be it.
Interesting fact,
so
Ryan.
Way more simple, a lot less fees back in the olden days.
Thank you for that. Well, we don't do that today.
No, we do not.
Thankfully, for our escrow companies.
Yes. Go back two videos to letter E for escrow.
So they help with this step in the real estate transaction.
Yeah.
And what's on a grant deed, Ryan?
So in addition to the grant deed, it shows the seller's name and the buyer's name.
Yes.
And then, however, when we talk about deed, we use the names grantor and grantee, like Courtney had talked about earlier.
Exactly. And in addition to the two titles, the grant deed also includes an address, a description of the property, an APN number, which is a unique number for each property.
Okay.
And generally, when a grantor and a grantee signs the deed, a notary is present.
Yes. And then a grant deed holds two guarantees, right? So the first one is the grantor states that the property has not already been sold to someone else, right? That would not be a fun situation.
No.
And two, they state that the property is not burdened by any of the encumbrances apart from those that the seller has already disclosed to the buyer.
Good guarantees.
I know, right? Those are some, go back to disclosures on deed, and we talk about disclosures.
And once that grant deed is completely filled out and it contains the appropriate signatures, the paperwork can be filed at the county recorder's office. And this gets filed once the transaction's almost over and we get the okay from escrow to move forward.
Yeah. And then some deeds don't start with G.
Yes.
But so what is some of the other popular deed types that we talk about?
So there's a quitclaim deed.
Yes.
And this quitclaim deed is used when you're transferring property, maybe just in between a family member, business partners, or a spouse. It is used sometimes during a divorce or estate planning. So a name change, maybe they're transferring to an LLC or a trust. So those types.
Yeah, but that's grant deed, that's G. And stay tuned for the next letter, which is H, which stands for, you'll have to find out on the next video. Bye, you guys.